there, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this video. If you have a Taurus rising, a moon in Cancer and sun in Sagittarius in the 8th house, and this is your video. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you have your rising in fixed earth ruled by Venus, and this is archetype of the builder. It is about embodiment, stability and functionality. Okay, and you have your moon in Cancer, which is cardinal water ruled by moon, so you have moon in rulership. And 3rd house is about communication, siblings, and the moon is about emotions. So you're emotional about these things and emotional about communication and sensitive to communication, both verbal and non-verbal. And you have your sun in Sagittarius, very good placement for the sun. Sun and Jupiter are friends. And this is archetype of the philosopher. And sun in the 8th has to do with deep secrets, transformation, and tremendous growth. And sun in Sagittarius, it is all about higher philosophies, higher truth, wisdom, as opposed to knowledge or information. Wisdom is Jupiterian Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, and this is mutable fire. So quick spreading fire, but it doesn't have the longevity of, say, a fixed fire sign. Now, the ascendant of the rising, the ascendant degree is the degree of the zodiac rising on the eastern side of the horizon at the moment of your birth. And the sign on which it falls is your rising sign. So for you, this is Venus ruled Taurus. So this is how the world perceives you. It is like the Jungian mask you wear to interface with society. It is the first point of touch your soul made with the 3D. It is how you are plugged into the matrix. It's the helm of your natal chart. It's the most you part of the natal chart. It deals with your physical body, your appearance, how you gesture, how you come across, all of that. So when you walk into a room, people see that Venusian side to you. You're very, very beautiful, because you have a Venus ruled ascendant rising. So you're very beautiful in the classically, traditionally feminine way, because you have a double feminine with your moon as well. So people also notice your beautiful voice, because Taurus rules the throat and the thyroid. And Taurus is the sign that rules the physical body, the earth, banking, finances, vegetation. Okay, so having your rising in Taurus, you can definitely be very close to food and the beauty industry, arts, craft and acting, theater, all of that is right up your alley. But food, there is a tremendous connection to food that you have, okay? And if you are very emotionally distraught, you could be, prone to eating disorders. Taurus oftentimes deals with eating disorders. And Venus being the sweet tooth, having your rising, which is Venus ruled, you could crave for things sweet. Okay, and being Taurus rising, you're very tactile. But there is a very slow, methodical approach to the way you deal with people. And people can see that. Okay, yes, you're exuberant, but there's a very cautious element to both Taurus and Cancer, actually, because they're both traditionalists. Okay, now people, you love things because Taurus is very tactile, likes to touch, feel, smell, cook for people, give gifts, very sensual lover, loves to please, takes time in bed, loves the cuddling and all of that. Can be selfish, moody, power hungry, controlling, and the bull seeing red, remember. Taurus is very much about embodiment and enjoyment of the world through the 5 senses, like the 5-petaled pentagram of Venus that she draws across the sky. So this is your lesson, Taurus rising, is not to get enmeshed in the physical world. Uranus has been teaching you a thing or two about spirituality or, messages from the spirit, because it's bringing electrical storms to you. And when I think of fixed earth receiving this, I immediately think of how oak trees root even deeper when there are threats of these kinds of electrical storms. So that's what you're doing, Taurus. You're rooting, you're building, because you have this need to build friendships, relationships. You need to buy also, because as I said, physical, fixed earth, you like your things, you like to hoard, you like to procure. But don't get trapped in that. Don't get enmeshed, entangled in that, so you don't see more. Okay, you can be quite selfish, very stubborn. Think of the bull, stubborn, but endurance tremendous, loyal, committed, can complete things. Okay, but they have to be motivated to do it. Love gifts, receiving, giving, and likes people to look beautiful, and as because you are beautiful, so that's something you just expect people to do. So don't like surprises, can hold grudges, and can be very temperamental. But when the buying gets too much, remember that Taurus is not just about mindless procuring and commodity fetishism. It's also about metaphysical messages. The Vedic people called the Pleiades constellation the Kritikas. And the Kritikas brought us metaphysical messages, right? So now your moon. Moon is in rulership in the third house in Cancer. Third house, short trips, siblings, automobile, communication. She could be very emotional about a sister, or your sister could be like a mother, or your mother was very emotional. The moon is the mother. She's our emotions, how we connect, how we emote, how we express, how we nourish. Moon rules breasts and stomachs. So how we nourish. Okay, how we were nourished, our everyday habit patterns, ESP, imagination, psychic awareness, receptivity. Moon is cold and moist. So this makes you very sensitive to communication, and you can gauge what people are feeling even if they are not verbally expressing it. Okay, your sister could be a part of the work you do, because you could be writing about all these emotions, okay, and all these things, because Sagittarius has this inherent need to teach as well. And Taurus, being Venus ruled, can be involved with creating content or writing as well, although that's more mercurial. But I've seen Taurus writers, especially if you pair them up with a Sag, okay, and you give them some Cancer, because Cancer is also great at expression. Now the Cancer moon is essentially, it's the waters of the womb. So it's very, very deep, it's profound, it's the bottom of your chart, Cancer, the fourth house, even the third house is right adjacent to it. So your moon is at the bottom, and it's in a cadent house, so it's not a very powerful house, it's not an angular house, but still it's moon in rulership. Now, the moon is the ruler of the fourth in the natural zodiac, so that holds the whole zodiacal wheel up, its foundation. So you see, this is immediately about a very nurturing component that Cancer has, and moon in rulership in Cancer has this beautiful mothering component. Not smothering, mothering component, okay? And it likes to cultivate growth. That's why I think Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, because Jupiter supports this growth, expands, and when Jupiter expands, Cancer can sustain that growth. It's so beautiful, right? And not only are they cultivating, they care about what they are cultivating deeply, okay, very profoundly. So as a Cancer moon, you care. You care about things, third house, siblings, short trips. You like to explore, you're passionate about it. Maybe even an old car that you have, or a bike or something like that. And you're very connected, maybe even the tram. You take the tram service because you're just sentimentally connected. Both Taurus and Cancerians can be very sentimental. Okay, now can be very cautious. Moon in Cancer can be very moody because the moon moves so quickly. It's always forever in flux. All right, um, this changeability. It's not necessarily adaptability or flexibility, but there's a changeability to your emotions with the moon in rulership in the third house. So could see you having problems with your siblings as you're growing up, but things will get better, of course, and you'll bond. But the moon doesn't go retrograde, so there's always this clarity of forward movement, but there's a flux and an ebb and flow like none other. But moon is the reason why we have life on earth. It's as simple as that, right? Very deep, very caring with your moon in the third, sensitive, maybe hypersensitive, needy, okay, very needy, and love all things vintage and sentimental. Love those Lana Del Rey songs, I'm sure. She's got a Taurus Cancer happening as well. Okay, and now your sun, which is in the 8th house. 8th house is death and transformation. It is house of taxes, inheritance, other people's money. Okay, so with that sun in the 8th, you could receive other people's money. A sun in Sagittarius, it's a good sun. It's a powerful expression of the sun. And although 8th house can be problematic, and if you have like the sun in the 8th, it's a problematic thing. Your father may have died or may not be available to you in the way that you may have wanted, and could have had secrets because maybe he worked in some diplomatic field. Although this is archetype of the philosopher, but Sagittarius, because it is so concerned with the Jupiterian truth, it can become like high level generals and stuff like that, because they have that very powerful Jupiterian aura. Rob the weave, jovial, very humorous with your sun in Sagittarius for sure, because you tend to see the comedy in life, okay, and you hate to get stuck in any situation, oh God forbid, with that sad sun. You always have this inherent need to move and to go. Sun is your father, it's how you shine, a healthy sense of ego, okay, your leadership skills, your vital life force is the sun. So sun in Sagittarius is definitely about foreign lands, traveling, higher wisdom, higher education. You could have had a higher education where probably your family paid for you and you went and probably got an Ivy League education. Now this is a very nice mixture of fixed and cardinal and mutable. So what are you going to do with this? Because you have so much accessible to you with this. If you think about Sagittarius, I always think about how the centaur, which was the cleaf of Sag, is not a real thing. It's in our imagination that we have mythified the centaur. So immediately you see Sagittarius, there is a fantastic component to Sagittarius. So also with your sun in Sagittarius, there's a fantastic, and since it's 8th house, a fantastic component to your life. It's almost like fantasy. It's almost like, larger than life is the word that comes to me when I think of Jupiter ruled Sagittarius, larger than life, okay? And this is mutable fire, so very adaptable, very flexible, and as cardinal is not flexible, adaptable, changeable, yes, but not necessarily adapting to everything. All right, and there is a bestiality that is mixed with the human in Sagittarius. So wherever the sun is, the sun brings illumination. So the sun will illuminate 8th house matters, all things secret, and you probably have an interest in the occult and hidden sciences, and it'll also illuminate your higher truths, the truths you subscribe to, what you believe. There's a huge storyteller, teacher angle to this energy. So you could very well be a teacher, motivational speaker with the Taurus rising, of course. just taking your work from country to country, because you're truly bitten by the bug of wanderlust with that sun in Sag, although Taurus doesn't really like to travel, and Cancer is fixated on being home. So how have these three archetypes played out for you? Drop me a comment below and book a reading or check out my merch. Thank you.